and welcome back to IGP Chronicles. I'm Jaquasia,
I'm Chris.
and this is episode number 4.
Yep.
I guess, yeah, my episode was technically number 3, but this is our 3rd episode together, and today we are going to discuss the WUSV qualification trial. Quali trial, as it's called by those who know it well. So, WSV is the World Championship for German Shepherd dogs only. And there are 2 organizations in USA, United States of America, that are under that umbrella.
Yep.
So there's GSDCA and USCA. And GSDCA is AKC affiliated.
Yep.
And then USCA is obviously just, you still have to have AKC papers, but it's a whole kind of weird thing. Each organization has 10 teams that go to the Quali trial, and of those 20 teams, 5 go with an alternate.
Right.
Lots of numbers. There's not always 20, but this year there is. But so for USCA, there are a couple different ways to get to the Quali trial. So you can go to the USCA GSD Nationals in November, place top 5, and that gets you a seat at the Quali. Or you compete at WDC, which just passed, the Working Dog Championship. You place top 5 as a German Shepherd dog. That can also get you a seat. And then the third option
is if you do compete at both, and you do declare, and there is a spot left, maybe a a good friend of ours, Julie Linenger, a couple years ago, didn't declare.
She had that new
didn't
job.
think that whatever, and never thought anything about it. Ended up going to WDC and finished 3rd, and the WDC unfortunately is after the cutoff to declare, so that left that spot open. So the next time, the next weigh in rather is by averages. If you go to both trials, do okay at both trials, or do well at both trials, but just miss it or whatever, there is sometimes a spot for
that.
to go in by averages.
But you still have to have an 80 in protection.
Yeah. And I know this is a topic some people know about, some people do not. If you know about this process, awesome. This is more to educate people that might be trying to figure out how does that happen. And we are going to try to educate
somebody.
Well, I mean, just in this podcast in general, your goal was to educate the broad spectrum of people, not just, talk about things that everybody knows, but also, like, I know when I first started, I made the Quali trial in 2014 and didn't know I even made it because I made it through averages, and found out like a week later, and obviously we were excited about it, and
Did you know you could make it on averages?
I knew I could make it on averages, but I didn't know that the spot was open. I think that year, and I could be wrong, so if I'm misquoting, I do apologize, but I think that year Chico won the WDC or was way up there, but also did not declare, which left the spot open, and I was able to go in that way. So again, I knew that there was ways. This was never spelled out, so
and
this little
declaring,
bit of spelling everything out, like, hopefully it's going to help somebody understand. And go ahead with what you're saying about declaring.
I didn't realize about that you had to declare either until maybe a couple years ago, right before probably I moved here. So, 7, 8 years ago, maybe I found out that you had to declare, but I didn't understand what it was until you explained it to me. And then when you declared this year, I saw the sheet and the whole process of what it means, and that you send in the $250 deposit. However, if you don't make it, you do get that deposit back.
Yeah, I think that's the way I understand it is that's kind of and I don't blame them at all. It's kind of USCA's way of saying, be serious about this. If you're not,
Right.
because they don't want to. There's 10 spots, and you don't want to be that number 10 guy and decide, oh, my foot hurts, I don't feel like making the trip, and you're out.
Well, too, there's not a lot of...
Somebody else could have had that spot.
Sorry.
That was serious.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but there is that short time frame because WDC is the beginning of May, and GSDCA is normally a couple weeks before that or after. They're within range of a couple weeks of each other, so there's a short amount of time that they're trying to figure out who's going so that the people can prepare. So they don't want to sit there and phone call everybody. If they have the declaration, they can move forward faster and tell people that made it through WDC or averages that they are going to have to go to the qualification trial, and they can prepare faster. So it is helpful in that kind of aspect too, to be able to move through the list as fast as possible. So that is nice too. But so GSDCA has their IGP National Championship, and top 10 are qualified to go to the Quali. So they have the one way in, where USCA gives you 2 chances. However, it's still
it is not there.
What is it? 6 half the
6 1 half dozen the other. The weird part about all of that for me still is, like, those 10 people that go through GSCCA, that trial is for the last few years has been capped at like 30 dogs, 32 dogs, 34 dogs. I mean, like,
I don't think they had this year. They had
there was only like 32 dogs, 34
I think that's
dogs in the whole competition
for them, though.
And that's your way in. So but and a lot of times you'll see that list and you'll see, well, after the top 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that, it's like, yeah. But this year,
it's a big
pretty stacked up list on both sides.
I think it was funny though for us because this year we didn't go to GSDCA. We're no longer members. Actually, we did not renew our membership. However, when we went in 2021 and 2022, the amount of people that were members of both organizations, it was just like, being at any event. It didn't really make a difference. So that was nice though in 2022 to have, for me too, because it was in New York, so I got to see a lot of old friends. So it wasn't like we didn't know people. It was like, oh yeah, that's so and so and that's so and so. So that's the funny thing.
But it was still strange because it was more like a regional event for us.
It was, that's why we didn't renew our membership, unfortunately. Although, hey, Briscoe still got Helper's Choice in 2021 at that. And that was Mark. That
was actually a well-run trial. The 2022 was
2021 horrific. Was Carl Smith in Tennessee. That was beautiful. All the drive in Tennessee, the tracking.
A little weird in some of the judging, but the trial was run really nicely.
It was. Carl, but he's on the list this year, so he knows how to run a trial. He did a really good job. Beautiful,
now, the year
beautiful tracking.
That was a terribly run trial. I don't mind. If I upset somebody in saying that, then do better.
Well, yeah, but we said something after. We said something to the board and to other people, and there was other people who had issues with that too. So again, that's why we decided not to renew our membership. But also, I'm not sure if I'm allowed. No, if I was higher up, I wouldn't be allowed. But I'm not that high up. But we have enough on our plate and at one point, just to give people a backstory, in order, when there was like the divorce, as we call it, between FCI and WUSB, and then AWDF and USCA, and the whole title craziness, we were members of 3 different organizations just to be able to compete at all the championships, because it was Briscoe's last year, and EXO was getting started. So we had to be members of 3 organizations, and then now everybody accepts titles, so it's much easier, but we have to be schnauzer people anyway, so we only have to be members of 1 organization if we choose that. So that does make things a little bit easier, because that was crazy. So we do this year, the top 10 from each. So each organization did send 10 teams, and it's anybody's game this year. I mean, at a trial, it's a trial either way. So this trial does not go in their scorebooks because it's not like
it's officially not a trial.
Officially, it's not a trial. So it doesn't go in a scorebook, but it does still choose who represents us in Europe. So.
And I don't know who was the person that posted this on Facebook, but I've said this for years because I've watched it multiple times. This is the trial that literally anything can happen. I missed France by 1 point. I've seen dogs be run off of a field and end up at that trial and make the team. This trial, like, it is. Every trial has a little bit of a battle of attrition.
Yep, and they're dogs.
This one for sure is pretty crazy.
I do like that, like the dogs in this trial, like they're proving consistency too. But you do hear a lot. Oh, the score was only 90 something or high 80s, and it doesn't matter if your dog can consistently score an 89 to a 91 in all three phases. That's a good life, number one, and you're always going to be there. And some days are going to be better than others, but that's what gets you to this trial is your dog has to do well, and it gets you on the team, possibly.
If you have a consistent dog, then you're good.
Yeah. Consistency with good scores, or very good SG scores, is better than inconsistent with V scores sometimes, in my opinion.
True.
Because at some point the dog will get that V score, hopefully. But so for GSDCA, I wish we could put like a thing up where they could see the thing. So this was posted officially now. I stole it off of somebody's story originally, and now the official post is out. GSDCA is going to be sending Chris Meverden with his dog Judge, who's a dog he bred.
Right.
Chris is actually a USCA member. He's in our region.
Chris and I actually tied
this year
at
for
our
regionals. That's
with
right.
that dog. We were both tied for third, but he had a little better protection. And,
so he took third, yeah. So that's why it's funny. Teresa Courier has Eric. I think that's how she pronounces it. Mm-hmm. Teresa's been on the team before because Gilmo went. Yep. And then he was on the team. He got injured, and she had to. She made the decision to pull him when he was injured, which is a big. Like you're already there. She was already there, ready to compete, but she made the decision, obviously, in the best interest of the dog. She's very close to us. She's right in South Carolina. So, Jill Doherty. I cannot say anybody's name today. Jill is actually the breeder of Vicodin. Yep. So, and Gigi's grandmother. Yep. Yes. So that's kind of cool to see. This dog, I also believe, is from her breeding. I can't remember. Helena Gallagher, I don't know her. However, I do know her dog Flavor is from Alexis's kennel, Alexis Roy. So that's kind of cool to see too. Sean Bailey, your Georgia guy. Sean is like diehard Georgia fan. So it's cool to see him go because he's always very friendly to us. Megan Fairchild is the 6th. She is super nice every time I've met her. Poseidon is a club member that we have, is that dog's father, Jet.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Poseidon's the father. So Megan's going. She has great hair. I love her hair every time I see her. She's a great smile, too. Carl Smith made the team. He was the one we mentioned that hosted GSDCA in 2021.
He typically shows shit dogs. So
he does.
I'd be wondering if that's shit dogs.
Yeah. But so that's cool to see him make the team. Ken Stoodle, who I don't know. However, I do know that kennel name. So a friend of mine on Facebook, it's a kennel that he has his dog from. So that's cool to see too. Megan Flynn made the team, as well as Boguslaw Kawa. Now, made the Quali trial, excuse me. Boguslaw made the team.
Yeah, his dog got sick or something, right?
Yes, last year, I believe, and his dog got sick, and so think he was alternate because that's why McColt went.
Or something happened. I'm not sure. McColt wins as alternate.
Yeah, I think that's why he took his spot.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
And then again, we mentioned Megan Flynn. So that's the 10 for GSDCA. Really nice dogs.
Yeah.
Really nice dogs. I know Jill trains so hard. She's like us. She trains like 3 dogs at once. And it's always cool, like Chris Meverton, a dog from his breeding. So that's always...
Chris always a super nice guy, too.
That's like an accomplishment. To take a dog that you bred, raised, all that work, and like take them to the Quali trial is so cool to me. I don't know if I'll ever do that because I'm not sure if I ever want to truly breed, but I think that's so cool. I know Megan, I think she made it last year too, if I'm not mistaken. Megan Fairchild.
I can't remember. I think you might be right there.
I think I'm right. I think she DQ'd no out, if I remember correctly. I'm going to have to go back and watch the Quali trial from last year. But so that's GSDCA, again, another very stacked deck. And then USCA is sending Frank Phillips with his dog Osco, who's...
I know we have another club member with that dog as a father.
Yeah, well, he's a Chris Spodlazov baby.
Yep.
So then he's related to everybody.
But it's funny, there's two dogs in here that both are... We have puppies that have both in the club.
Yeah, well, that says something. That's why they're going to Quali. But Frank's going with Osco, super beautiful dog. Karina Sweeney with her dog Kobe, another dog she bred, be hot, bred, handler, owner, trained, which is very cool. He's very young, too.
Aaron O'Shea's be hot, too, right?
Aaron O'Shea, yes, is third on the list with Joker.
I thought he was still young.
I think he's younger than Kobe.
4, maybe?
Yeah. So both Kobe and Joker are young dogs. And yes, Aaron O'Shea is also, that dog is Be Hot. Denise Scalise, Axel is also Be Hot from her female. So that's crazy. That's so cool, guys. That's like, blows my mind. The Sweeneys, obviously, taking 2nd and 5th on the list. So Mike Sweeney and Pasha are also going. And Pasha... Mike posted this the other day. Like, Pasha's great-grandmother or great-grandfather, Karina, handled.
Wow, cool.
So, like, she knows that whole bloodline, which is also crazy. I think she was, like, 13 in the picture. Josh Lininger, of course, from our region, and Devil, they are in the 6th spot, so that'll be really exciting to see. Mike Deal and his dog Austin, another Be Hot dog. Damn, y'all is doing the damn thing. And then in the 8th, McColt.
With another dog that we have a puppy from in our
Oh,
club.
we do.
So that's 3.
Punk ass Chelsea.
That's 3.
Wow, that's right. Ghost and McColt are in the 8th spot. Also Southeast region. Gary McGilvery.
Also
Dr.
Southeast
McGee,
region.
also Southeast region with his dog Avinci. I love that name. And then Greg Dowd with his dog Axel. Wow, Southeast region did really well.
Yeah.
Josh Colton, Dr. McGee. That's really nice, but those are all super, super dogs.
There's a few of those dogs in there that are your super consistents.
Yes.
And then there's a few in there that can be 290 or
Put
0.
up some numbers, yeah.
Or 0.
I like knowing the dogs though, like they're not just point dogs.
Right.
No. All these dogs have personality and like oomph.
Plus too, I mean,
and we know Ghost, we see him
I'm sure
often,
everybody on that list didn't do anything crazy because it's all a bunch of experienced people on that list. But I mean, if it's your one shot, man, sometimes you just swing for it and see what happens. And
good handlers, like people who can handle their way through a trial.
Yep.
So it'll be a really nice trial to watch, like super nice. I'm actually really excited.
They're supposed to
live stream.
Supposed to be live streamed.
Yes.
Hopefully everything works out with that and it's decent.
I almost want to drive there just to watch it because they do tracking and protection on the same day normally, and then they do obedience. That's how they've done it the past couple years.
It's a GSDCA event this year, so they have done it that way, and it hasn't gone the other way. So it really...
It doesn't, yeah. I think that's very interesting, though, that they do tracking and protection on the same day.
Yeah.
It's just, or obviously there's still a draw, so there's not 20 tracks all in one day, right? Yeah, I'm right about that.
Yeah, it's 10.
But it's still kind of, you see the typical breakdown is like at a regional, it's tracking one day, and then you do stadium. But I kind of like this little
What I haven't seen is who's the helpers?
I think I have that saved.
A little more. The tracking got changed from what I was told. This says
it's very high.
Yes, according to Colt, that just got changed.
It says waist high.
I know.
According to Colt, saying now.
That just got changed.
No, fuck Colt.
And said it was going to be ankle high now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Waist high is like, yeah, but waist high on who too?
Yeah, exactly.
Like waist high on you and waist high on me are very different things.
And waist high on Danielle.
Wait, yeah, I was just gonna say totally Danielle waist high, like you wouldn't be able to see me. Like you wouldn't. Just gone. You just see like you'd have to put a balloon on me or something just to be like, oh, there you go. So coming from a judging standpoint, if you're judging tracking in waist high, where would you rate that?
That is an open question that can't be answered honestly, because waist high, I showed in 2013, 14, whatever, AWDF was in Kentucky. Mike Hamilton, rest his soul, was judging, and now Mike Hamilton was 6'5" or something, and I'm pretty sure that you couldn't see me through part of the track, but he judged all the tracks and found issues with the tracks and told them into critique or whatever, but it wasn't like a super thick, dense, like I wasn't in a forest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas...
A what?
A forest. So,
your southern twin kicked in. It was cute. Yeah. You forest.
So, but it's like if it's waist high and dense,
right,
and you can't see the dog, obviously you can't. It's harder to see mistakes.
Right. And is it easier for the dog to just go on the path previously laid?
I have very mixed emotions about that. I used to would say yes, put him in a tunnel.
Based on your experience,
the experience I've had over the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, I don't know that tunnel's really the answer all the time.
Right.
I mean, even if it is a tunnel, if the dog's not used to being in a tunnel,
right, and
he doesn't understand the tunnel anyway.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a good point.
But
I feel like ankle high, he said? Mid-calf?
That's what...
now, again, is it that ankle high to colt?
Well, ankle's ankle, pretty much.
Yeah, but what if you got long ankles? Yeah. But so it's a little shorter than what was originally anticipated. Yeah, so ideally you'd be able to see more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the thing is too is like, I mean, I know people at the Quali trial already know this, but like everybody wants the trial to be at tracking at 6 o'clock in the morning and the dude's still out and you can see the whole track. Well, guess what? So can the judge. So there's no question. Oh, he was off the track.
Right.
He wasn't off the track.
Yeah.
Whereas if there's you can't see it, but you know the term was there and the article was there, there's a possibility he might have been on, possibility he might have been off. However, if the dude's still there, you can still see the whole track.
Right.
Then so can the judge.
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure.
A lot easier to take points when you see it all.
So the helpers are Jimmy Metz, who I'm assuming is GSDCA's.
Yeah, I don't know that guy at all. And
Derek Lacrosse is on the back.
It's a good track layer.
Is from USCA. Yeah, track layers are Pedro.
Yep.
And Butch Henderson, who had the two. He had the Pibble.
Yep.
And I think he had a Doberman too. So both very experienced people laying tracks, which is awesome. And the coordinator, Chico.
That's
Chico's going to make sure things are right.
Oh, you can believe that. You better show up on time.
Things are going to be set like A, B, and C, and they are going to be how they are. And don't think that Chico's going to try to. No, Chico is by the book. Chico is by the book.
I won't call him by the book, but Chico will make sure that it is done how it needs to be done.
Fair.
It's supposed to be done.
It is going to be fair to
Funny story,
everybody.
the first time I ever met Chico, I was laying tracks at Patty Basin's Club. I laid tracks at Patty Basin's Club, and Chico was there. And I laid 2 tracks, and somebody else laid some tracks or whatever. But I laid the track as if I was going to go run the track.
Right.
So when I got back, that's the first thing he said was, "You can lay my track anytime." Because I laid a track like I would want to go run, whether it be in a trial, a championship, or a practice.
Right.
So it was kind of interesting. So
Chico's
is a.
He says what he's thinking. You'll know.
He's a colorful character, but you know what?
He's fair,
he's
though.
coming from a good spot for
yes.
the German Shepherd dog,
yes.
for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Whether you like the way he's getting there or you do not, he has the best for the sport and the dog.
He loves this sport for what it is.
He does, for sure.
He gave me a compliment at AWF. He was like, "Those are good scores for her." I was feeling pretty horrible about our obedience, and he was like, "That's good scores for that trial," because that was
it was tough.
It was a tough. I mean, they were by the book, especially with the protection, having like 4 judges out there. Luckily,
yeah, 88 that trial, didn't you?
We're not going to talk about that. I did have an 88, but so the alternates are for helpers are Mark Torrance and Olu.
That's a name I hadn't seen in a hot minute.
What?
USCA trial chair.
Sean
O'Kane.
Yeah.
Dang, I ain't seen Sean in a minute.
They're down south now.
Yeah, in Georgia.
Where it's warm. But yeah, so he's the trial chair. The trial secretaries, Dana Bruce and Vadim, who's the USCA president. And then again, the alternate helpers, Mark Torrance, who is GSDCA, and Olu for the back half, who is
Mark
USCA.
is trying to like really assert some goodness into what's happening at GSDCA and trying to help with that. At least from what I've been told, I think that he's trying to drive in that to make it better. Hopefully that works out for him.
I've only met him.
Nice guy.
I've only met him the one time. Obviously, we're friends on Facebook, but
super nice guy.
He was very, very, very nice. He apologized at 2021 because the timing was just off, and that happens. But Briscoe didn't get a great bite on that reattack, and I was like, that's part of dogs. Like, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but he's a super helper.
Yeah, he's
super help. He's like 40 too. He's like in his 40s, I'm pretty sure. And then Olu on the back half. As again, these are just the alternates. Derek has done a number of nationals for USCA. He's actually the helper for Schnauzer Fest. We just found that out too, so we've seen Derek a lot. But you said they changed the event basics as far as tracking goes. The fur missile articles are the ones that get engraved. They're the ones that do all the engraving. So that's really cool. And then they just have hold on one second.
There goes your thing right there. Top 10 dogs, Saturday. Go back. Tracking. No.
Where?
Back where you had it. Go up. No, the other way.
Up or down?
Opposite what you were just doing. A little more.
The schedule.
Look at the schedule, yeah.
Okay. Then say the schedule.
There you go.
So Friday is practice.
Obedience at stadium for 2 through 10.
Oh, I see.
Protection at stadium.
So
there's tracking. Yeah, they're doing tracking.
So they do have the schedule tentatively listed. Friday will be practice. GSDCA has practice first, and then USCA has their practice. Then they do have draw, though, in the afternoon. But then it does say, it says flight 1.
Flight 1 through 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it says flight 1, 10 dogs.
Oh,
flight
yeah,
2, 10 dogs.
I got it.
So that's what it has. So, again, they still draw. And that happens after practice on Friday. Then Saturday, flight 1 will have their tracking and then their protection. Flight 2 will do obedience. And then Sunday, they'll flip-flop, where flight 2 will have tracking and protection, and flight 1 will do obedience. So the dogs get plenty of rest, too, which is great. So they're starting tracking at 6:30. And again, with Chico and Pedro and Butch there, I bet you
it'll be on time.
It'll be. I can't imagine it'll
Butch
be.
Butch was in the flight before us and the flight after us at tracking at WDC, and when he came back, he said he was at the meeting spot. You're supposed to be there an hour before time or whatever, but he was there 30 minutes before he was even supposed to be there.
So he's there like an hour and a half before.
It'll be on time.
And Pedro's cool. Yeah. And I know he runs things tight ship too, but like he's also funny about it. So you'll feel relaxed, but everything's gonna be done right. So it's nice when you see. From
you're
our
not ever gonna feel relaxed at this trial.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like it's always nice to see familiar faces that will make sure that the trial is run fairly.
Right.
So that'll be nice to see, and they are supposed to live stream it. So hopefully nothing goes wrong with that, and we get to see the live stream. I'm assuming they'll have everything. Probably have contingencies upon contingencies because the quali trial is like this. It's not this. It's like the conference championships in football. So it's like AFC versus NFC, a little bit. But yeah, so they are doing the tracking and protection together, and then obedience is the one piece. I do like that though because the obedience is so long.
Yeah,
and you are on a down.
I'm wondering though. Yeah, this is true what you're saying, but also like if you get 79 below in protection, you're done anyway.
Right.
So it just makes it that much less on the next day.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, but.
Or if you fail a phase, I mean, Sunday's going to be.
Yes, because this is not a sanctioned trial. Yep. They don't. It's not the same rules. So if you are out, then you're just out.
There's no point in keeping going.
There's no point in adding time and all that. They did say though something about. That they will move ahead a schedule where possible due to the heat, so they do want to keep things going. This is in Pennsylvania, the field, so the weather should be okay, but it could be also hot because when we did AWDF in June, it was a little toasty.
Noah was just there. I went to ask him what the weather was, but didn't know. I didn't ask him.
And that's right. This is something I kind of forget. And so what I'm reading off of is something that was posted in the IPO training group, and it's just kind of what they put out in information regarding the trial. So they give practice information for the competitors, but also we're just reading it just because it's good to know that there are no use of corrective devices on trial grounds during practice or at any time during the event.
Because you got to remember, this is directly with WSC.
Right.
And GSDCA, you can't anyway.
You can't anyway,
AKC,
yes.
So
that is something that we didn't know that when we did GSDCA.
Right. I knew that at WSC because I found out the hard way in 2014.
Right.
I didn't find out until I got there, but I found out.
And GSDCA we didn't know until we got there. And luckily Brian Dyer let us know that we couldn't do that. But so normally in practice at big championships for USCA, until your scorebook is handed in, you can use your corrective devices within reason. Obviously, you cannot use them inappropriately, but you can practice on the field in your scheduled practice time with your e-collars, prong collars, slip leashes, and all that fun stuff. However, at this trial, you cannot even practice with that. So, knowing that ahead of time means you may change up how you're going to practice. Maybe you don't practice or that kind of thing. But knowing ahead of time, like, yes, I can use it or no, I can't is incredibly important.
There's one thing that I'm gonna mention real fast, but we're not gonna get into that subject because we're gonna do another podcast about trials procedures and what to look for, what not to look for.
Yes.
But I really like the fact that they put in their information, there will be no demo dogs. We will do round robins if necessary.
Yes.
So we will get into the whole demo dog round robin thing when we do another podcast coming up about
just
trials in general.
Well, because we'll probably talk about us as we are planning regionals.
Yeah.
But this is something though. I keep these for when we do plan events, and I want to put this in like the competitor packet and the information, because knowing like right off the bat, like there are no demo dogs, and there will be a round robin if necessary. Prepping for that. Yeah. So that's again more information, the better.
If it were my role, we would all do round robins at every trial. There would be there wouldn't be 3 pairs of 2. It'd be 2 pairs of 3. It's not pairs, but obviously.
But that'll be the whole thing.
That would be awesome.
There is no practice field, so you have to bring your own blinds if you need to practice other than the scheduled practice. There's obviously no helper tryouts. No one can be at the fields before or after their scheduled practice time, which is great. So you can't.
That's normal.
But just again, information like you can't go watch. Mm-hmm. There's just go do what you need to do, and move on. So then they just go through what we just discussed on the schedule, and that dogs will do tracking and protection on the same day and obedience on the other day. And just kind of a couple of other little nuances about like practice dumbbells, gunfire, helpers, and anything like that. And then they give a picture in the next one, which I don't have to pull up, but they give a picture of how the field is set up so that, again, competitors know how the blinds are running and just kind of field set up before they arrive. So that is pretty much it as far as quali trial.
Yeah, I think that
it's the baseball field.
Yeah. The only thing that I will touch on just a second, I'm not gonna get into it, but if any of you guys from this quali trial watch this, if all of you watch this, please remember one thing. And I personally have not been. I have obviously had friends that have been. I have helped 4 different competitors make it there. I have not made it yet myself, but I've
you made it to the quali.
Made it to the quali. I mean the actual trial, the actual worlds. But I've heard this multiple times, not just from my people, just people in general. Mm-hmm. Please remember, no matter who you are, you're not GSDCA anymore. You're not USCA anymore. You're USA. That's all the uniform says.
Yep.
Once you're that top 5 with an alternate,
you're USA.
USCA and GSDCA is out the window. You're all Team USA at that point. I'm sure that in Olympic trials, this figure skater from this camp and this figure skater from this camp, whatever, yeah, they want to do better than each other, but they're also helping each other. They're doing things to make things better. Like, don't treat this as a GSCCA, USCA thing once that team is made, because that's Team USA and you're representing all of us, and we all want all of you that make the team to go do well so that Team USA wins the team trip again, right? So whoever is the top 5, and if 4 of one of another, 2, 3, who cares? It's USA at that point.
Yeah, that's like something, I think I say that every time. It doesn't matter. Once you are on the team, they don't put USCA and in parentheses, put your organization. Doesn't matter. You're on the team. You're representing the country as a whole. You're representing everybody who is in the sport who has a German Shepherd dog. So just keep that in mind, which take that for what you will, but we're all rooting for you at,
Dude, we would get up at 3 in the morning. We literally have alarms set. Franco B at 2:35 a.m.
We'll have alarms set for anybody. It doesn't matter.
Every person on the team, every person on that team, whether we know you, don't know you, don't like you, if you're on that team, there's an alarm set on our phone for your stadium every time. And we will be sitting right here. We've done it for FMBB. We've done it for USCA for regular trials. We do it for WSVs. Every time that we have a trial that's on the live stream and it's people that representing our country, we watch them all, whether we know them or not. Yeah. And we sit here and pull for you and cheer you on and hope you're the best. So just remember, it's USA, not USCA, not GSECA.
And if you're watching like we are, it's the same thing. Don't root. It's USA. It's USA at the end of the day, and don't root for one of the members to
do bad
because you don't like them. It's our country, and if you want to truly promote the sport in our country, you'll support the people on the team. And even if that's just cheering, then that's great. But that's something I if you take nothing else from this episode, everybody can take that away, that it's USA, United States of America, the end. There's no separate organizations.
America.
Once you America.
Hashtag
fuck yeah. Once they put on that uniform and they get the fancy pants. Which, man, I'm telling you, if I ever, and Daniel always laughs at me, but I told him, man, if I ever get that, I'm sleeping in that outfit. I'm like, you're going to have to pry it off me. I'm going to take it off, wash it or whatever, and I'm going to stand there and watch it in the washer and dryer and then put it back on.
Okay.
I don't care if it's 90 degrees in South Carolina. I'm wearing that coat.
Okay.
But I'm going to get a special sponsorship by Columbia because North Face doesn't always make me look great.
Oh, okay.
The pants just don't they don't be panting like the Columbia pants.
Oh, they don't be panting.
Listen, if I get us all a Columbia sponsorship, though.
We all be panting.
Maybe a little redesign. A little
go.
red. Ooh, red. Can you imagine? That's the one time I'd wear red.
Okay.
You know what? No. I'm wearing white. White.
Bro.
1 year white, 1 year red.
I remember, I don't remember which trial it was or which dog it was, but I remember I've been coming out in all white. And I'm like, dude, that's doing it right there.
Man.
That's doing it.
I, like, the thing with white is it's white, so then it's dicey. I do think, it's that lighter blue, obviously. Well, our flag is navy blue. Mm-hmm. But I think that red, if they came out with red pants, bruh, I would love to do like a two-tone, though, without it being gaudy, like the jacket being one color and the pants. Yeah. Like if every year the pants were a different color.
I wish that there was a slight difference. I mean, it is nice and it is good looking and all, but if there was a little more of America in there, it'd be
like the Olympics.
Okay by me.
When they come out with their outfit
I don't want
for the Olympics.
I don't want my coat to look like a flag.
I'm not saying that, right. But like every year it's like, ooh, they try to look super nice, but it's a little different, so what year you might have went with.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, red is my least favorite color, but I'd wear red for America.
You'd wear whatever color if you made the team.
I would.
Yeah.
But I look good in red pants. Can you imagine red? Ooh, that looks sharp. Yeah. Even the navy blue. I do the navy blue and white would look crisp.
Yeah, really good.
Like the white jacket with navy blue pants, or white pants and a red jacket, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing.
I can't tell you nothing now.
I be wearing them white pants. I'd be wearing them white pants, bruh. That'd be so cute. I think the USA on the pants would pop more too if you did like a white pant. Ooh.
All right, guys. Be careful driving if you're going to do the Quali trial. Have fun at the Quali trial. Good luck. And
give your doggos a kiss. Snugglies. And yeah, we'll be back with another episode. We're going to get into some rule book stuff next and talk about the rule book, which you need to know. Mm-hmm. So tune in to the live stream of the Quali trial, learn something, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Peace.
See you later. Bye.